So I won't
Hi.
interrupt you. I'll let you get everything you want to say out first, and then let me say everything I want to say, and then we'll probably try to talk again. That would try to limit it the most we can.
Yeah. Hi guys. It's us here, the Fanatics. We're currently doing a test here. Uh, Ignore that. That was me hearing my phone. Uh, okay. Austin, go off mute one time.
Yes.
One second.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. We'll do it your way. Okay. Uh, all right, guys. This is Jake Tylenol here in Austin. Ace Comics, basically. Uh, and we're gonna talk about Gen V, essentially that show that that's in the boys' universe. I'm sorry, we don't have a good opening. I'm kind of half-assing this, but anyway, yes, I'm here with Austin. Austin's here with me. We're dealing with some technical difficulties, so sorry about that. Uh, Austin, would you like to say anything?
Echo look. Echo cancellation is on, so I don't know what's happening. But if you want to talk about Gen V, it's a show.
Hi, Comic Con. I know that yeah, so I see you really enjoyed the show and you didn't want us to review it, and I want to say with all my heart that I enjoyed the show. I just didn't, I just couldn't get into it, and to be fair, that could just be me. I just didn't see it the way other people did. I think going off into it, I think my biggest problem with the show, up until the last two episodes, which are great, by the way, the last two episodes, the last, second to last episode is good. The finale has a really good ending. Um, I think my biggest issue with the show is kind of something I have a problem with in adult entertainment. I think people mistake sex and the ability to talk about adult things for maturity. This show has a problem where it's like it felt like every time I started paying attention to the show, it was about like a sex scene or some sex joke or some like over the top cursing and all this other stuff. And don't get me wrong, I'm okay with like all of that in Spare, but it was like so much of it was just grotesque stuff just to be there. And I thought it really kind of disengaged me with the plot, even though like I think there were things that I could keep up with that I enjoyed. Uh, I just, for the most part, I thought it was just like too much of trying to be edgy for me to really consider this like good entertainment. But Austin, you can share your thoughts on not hogging up everything. Oh, oh, is Austin there? Oh, okay. I guess I'll keep talking until he comes back. Um, but yeah, no, I think that's my biggest issue with the show. Uh, I mean, we have some cool characters here.
Can you not hear me?
Oh, is Austin back?
I was trying to fix it. The problem.
Yeah. Comic Con, so you're caught up with this. We're having technical issues on our side. As you can hear, there's echoing. That's that just mainly we don't know what that is. Yeah. Yeah. Soon we could have a crossover at some point, Comic Con, and we could do even redo this again under better circumstances. If you want to join us for that, we could just do like a whole joint episode as well. Um, but yeah, there were like I said, there were things about the show I did like, but most of that came from the last two episodes. The last two episodes, we kind of dropped the whole like juvenile stuff, and we actually focused on like a narrative that I really kind of thought was interesting. Um, I really did kind of like how like it boiled down to soups versus humanity, um, and which side is being more extreme. I did like those themes as well. and I did kind of like how that all devolved into like one big like epic battle on the campus as well. Like this all out anarchy protest, whatever happened on the campus. That was pretty cool. Um, I but I like I said, I guess that's all I really have to say about the show. Um, yeah, but Austin will probably have more thoughts than me. Yeah, I would agree. Kind of like X-Men theme, mutants versus humans, kind of. But Austin would have more thoughts than me, so I'm going to pass it off to him and go on mute. So,
Yeah, Gen V is a spinoff that was supposed to be the X-Men side of things for the comics, which they tease here, like Jake and you Comic Con said, we get the humanity versus mutant stuff. You even get the kind of Magneto speech from the main female. And while I think I enjoyed more of the show than Jake did, like I even like to say half the show. I didn't really like any character other than Jordan, who was the person who can change from male to female with the shockwave power or something. So they never have to tell you what the other power is. But I don't think the show does enough to explore that aspect of it as it does to try to be up until the final two episodes. Uh, teen drama stuff going on. Oh, this girl has the girl had the the girl had the eating disorder because of her power. And that was a thing they go with like one episode or two episodes and they throw it away. Then like the moment she meets the crazy dude, she's immediately all over him. It's like, bro, what's happening here? This show it tried to use sex and relationship as a way to progress characters, but in a lot of ways it kind of holds them back. But I think the final episode tried to go against that by having the crazy kid Sam talk to Emma and tell her, "I think you just have issues where you want everyone to like you." So I don't know if they thought that was like they're trying to push. I don't know if they were trying to push the whole show with most relationships, but it doesn't come off as that. It just kind of feels like they want to do gratuitous sex and kid humor, like Soldier Boy coming in and what he said about that little girl in her brain. Like there was no reason for that, and there's a lot of moments for that where they it just dare to be gross.
um,
But I'll let Jake go for a little bit.
yeah, yeah. I think that was also kind of like I think if I was to compare this to another adult superhero show, I guess I could use Invincible as well. But to be fair, Invincible relies on a lot of shock action. Um, Characters are just kind of unhingedly violent at times, but to be fair, that's kind of the worst I could say about it. With Invincible, a lot of the drama is human. They're not trying to be edgy for the most part. So I think it makes you kind of feel for the characters more. They feel kind of tangible. I think like with Gen V, I think like Austin was saying, a lot of these characters are already like kind of unlikable because everybody has to be this like despicable, edgy adult version of like something, and I think that's just kind of not really human. I think like in real life, while those type of people exist, it doesn't encompass all of your adult life, really. Uh, Chances are you're not gonna really uh, you're not really gonna see a lot of the stuff that's in Gen V just in your casual viewing experience. And if you are, you have an interesting life. But yeah, like I said, I just think it just tries way too hard. But if you could, but Comic Con, you ask, what do you guys think you could do differently in season two? I guess I'll go first. Um, Season two, as long as it just does what it did in season one's ending, like the last two episodes, I'd be fine with it. Focus more on like just kind of the plot nature. We kind of have the jaw dropping ending of Homelander showing up and siding with the villains. Um, so I think like and then we have the teens now trapped in a place that they don't know. I would say focus on the actual plot more and less on the teen drama, and have the teen drama kind of just be like you know kind of enhance the story, give it flavor, but don't like overtake the series with it. That's just me. But Austin, you go ahead.
I agree. Like I'm fine with like kids dating and kids having sex and stuff. But like most of these people here who are sleeping together just made each other like a day ago, and then they almost died, and then it's like we had now this is the team. It's like that's not this is the weirdest way to like build your Justice League team for your show I ever seen in my life. And then a lot of the stuff for me personally, I just saw coming in general. Because me and Jake do this a lot. We'll watch movies. I call out a lot of stuff. I notice a lot of things that you try to set it up correctly. I don't know. I don't want to say it's not a bad thing, but I just notice everything. So I basically called like the blonde girl being evil like early on, like episode two. Cause like her power was just too convenient to the point. But when it happened and it was so drawn out, all for her to turn evil again at the end of the season anyway. I was like, then what was the point of them trying to do this fake old redemption arc mid season to have them get close and all the other stuff? Just for her to be like, yeah, I'm just gonna use my power on y'all anyway, even though I just agreed not to do that, and hope y'all die or something. I'm gonna go start this race war out the blue because this woman that loved me, who she knows loved her, were trying to keep her tame, basically. But if I had to improve it, like Jake said, just focus on moving the plot forward. There's so much stuff here that's going to be a bigger thing now. We have the two kids that apparently might be in the seven. You have the disease that kills superheroes. You have Butcher showing up at school and figuring out about this disease. So you know there if you know the comics, you already know where that's going to head. You have Homelander, who I don't believe is going to be a big part of season two, but now his eyes is on the situation. So there's always that threat now. And I like the only other plot line we have keep going with is Sam. Not Sam, Sam's with the blonde girl, whose name I can't remember right now, but Marie and her trying to find her sister. So I guess we try to get into that because we know her sister's alive, and we know that Vought knows where her sister is. Yeah, the butcher scene was not that cool. It was just him showing up at the woods after everything had happened. It's like, bro, if you came here earlier, that would have been kind of hype. Like he showed up like right after Homelander, or even before Homelander, and they talked about it or something. It really felt like that lady should have reached out to Butcher instead of Valerie, and that should have been Butcher's scene. And then later on, he comes to collect the virus. But I'm gonna switch it back to Jake.
Yeah, like I said, as far as the school aspect itself, it's like it's kind of like a bit too unhinged for me. Even let's get rid of um let's get rid of the butcher scene. Yeah. By the way, just to answer Comic Con's question, yeah, the butcher scene to me was also terrible. I didn't understand why it was what it was. But yeah, it feels like the school's a bit too unhinged. I felt like every episode, like it was like a school shooting was like every episode. And it kind of just felt like, why would you ever want to go here? I never want to just here trying to join the Seven or like some big superhero team. But it's like this is like way too dangerous. Like for me to even believe that this wouldn't like be like more known. Maybe I missed something in the plot. To be fair, as I was kind of insinuating before, I had a hard time really getting into the show. So I will fully admit that there's probably a lot of details I just maybe glossed over. That maybe Austin can fill in when he comes back. But um it just felt like yeah, it felt like it wasn't a school that I want to go to or I'd even have any illusions of going to. um if they really wanted to make it kind of more subtle, I would say like maybe in the first episode show the schools like normal, like show a normal college. But then like when you go deeper into it, maybe like the fraternities and stuff like that, that's when the stuff gets like really creepy and like really horrifying. Then you run into like the sexual predators or like all that other stuff like that. And of course weave it into the plot. That would just kind of be my fixing of it. Like maybe just you find out in order to even make it far in this school, you're gonna have to do a lot of fucked up things. But if you just want to be an average person, that's okay. Dealing with stuff like peer pressure and as a college student is just something that's like more relatable, like a more relatable subject they could have explored with it. Um, but I guess I'll leave it for there. And Austin could go into his thoughts on the college itself.
everything you said, they kind of teased at the beginning. In episode one, you find out the main thing of going to school. It like by this point they already expect you to know how to use your power, so it's not like teaching you that. But it's time to set up what your future career is. But the main thing is to become famous. Marie was pushing to be in this teacher's classroom because that's the main hero course. It'll be like if you watch UA, it's like going to a school and trying like you're gonna be in 1B. It's like nah, let me be in 1A. That's where all the stuff's gonna happen. That's gonna actually make me succeed. But this like Jake said, the school itself, while it's there, it's not really fully fleshed out as a like a place. The voice is kind of fleshed out, but the school itself, we been in a classroom what 2 times. I don't think we ever seen like a full class of what they're learning or how they're trying to prepare themselves to be superhero for the future. Everyone here is already semi-famous, so they don't really need the school based on what they were saying. Like people here have like 10 million TikTok followers. They have TV shows. Some people solve real life crimes. So for them, it's just about getting the diploma so they can audition to be in the seven. Which at the end of the season, we find out doesn't even really matter anyway, because they're just gonna put you, they're just gonna put you in the seven if they want you to, regardless. And Translucent Sun is here. You know, the one that I thought was a child in season one. They were teasing with like a little kid, and he's apparently in college now. It's over like what 5 years? I, just, I don't know, but they even hint to like other stuff. Like episode one, you meet Golden Boy. You see they got sports and stuff. We don't even see like that side of school. Like it's such a wasted opportunity when you just to ignore all this stuff you could do, even just for like an episode. So then you have the secret labs under the school, which were used to develop the disease. But it's like that's all y'all did down here for like 20 years. How long did school been going on? Because apparently the man who runs it, who owned the man who created the school in the comics was their Professor X, and they imply that he made the school a long, long time ago. So it's like well, all y'all were doing was just containing kids and trying to figure out this disease for like 60 years. The campus life would have helped relate more to these characters because like once you get to Marie, she gets turned down for being in the hero class. She calls Jordan a bitch. Then she get into class, and then Jordan then at the end of the episode we have the whole reveal with Golden Boy and him blowing up, and then basically like the school shit don't really matter that much. Now it's just about the woods and what's under the school. This show probably just could have benefited from less, like I said, less gross comments and like 2 more episodes just to flesh out the school life so you get the more to like these kids and not just watch them go through stuff. Cause that's all they really did from go through one situation to the next situation. Oh, the golden boy killed himself. We got to figure out about the woods. Oh, we got to save his brother. Oh, now we suddenly don't remember 4 days of our life. Oh, now our friend is evil. Oh, now our friend is good. Oh, our friend's evil and there's a super human virus. Oh, we stopped that. Homelander showed up and he betrayed us. The woods are open. Like there's no 8 episodes, but like multiple huge things happen each episode where it kind of gets a little bit too much to pay attention to, like Jake was saying. But I'll pass it back to him right now.
Um, and I swear I'm not gonna do this the whole episode, but I do also want to do another comparison to Invincible. It'll be like one of the things that makes the final season so great is that when you spend time with Homelander, you see that I mean not Homelander, Omni Man. Too many evil Superman. Damn. When you spend time with Omni Man, you know he's evil, but he's like so charming. You see him just hang out with his son, just casual things he does with his wife and his family and all this stuff. So like when the scene comes where he has to like fight his son, you're just kind of like you kind of feel bad for him, kind of, even though he's like a complete piece of shit. Um, I don't get that moment here in this show. I don't think there was like a moment where I sat down and I was like, it would really suck if this character died. I was just kind of like, eh. If they die, they die. It really doesn't matter. They're not really characters that really stick out to me anyway. Um, and like I said, it's just kind of weird because like we don't usually get a lot of shows that focus on like, at least from my memory, we don't get a lot of shows that focus on the college experience. usually in usually in these type of movies and shows, we focus on like high school, or like if we go to college, it's always like the frat stuff, like all the silly frat stuff. So like it's just really weird that you have the concept of like a superhero college, uh, and like this is, and it's just kind of completely undercooked to this degree. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like Austin said, just I wish there were just more personal moments, like just chances to get to know these characters in a way outside of just like the big stuff, I suppose. Um, but yeah, I also, I guess there's a question also that maybe Austin could clarify. Um, I'm confused as to why they need a whole school to decide who the seven is, right? Because like realistically speaking, there's only seven slots. As far as I remember from when I watched The Boys, they don't go over that limit. And I don't think they even have anything in reserve because I remember even in like season 3, they had people like auditioning on TV as well for one slot. So it's like, so you have a bunch of these superheroes in a college, and they're it's all just to audition for this superhero team that most of them can't even join. And then it's like, can they make other superhero teams? Because apparently even at that point, Vought apparently doesn't even like that either. So like, why do you need a whole school for this concept? Is a bit where I'm confused. I'll pass it off to Austin, so maybe he'll know. I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay, so my understanding is more like a while the kids think they're there. Well, the kids know the school is being watched by Vaults, so I think they're just trying to up their chances. But from my understanding, Vault that's just a lie Vault gives them. But the main thing that they're trying to do is figure out the virus thing. Because that lady worked for Vault, I believe, right? I believe if Vault owns that facility making that virus, I doubt they don't know about it. But since apparently they also made the other superhero killing tech, which is very underutilized in the season with the sound waves. Cause like y'all having all these problems with Homeland or all the other things. This weapon, he has super hearing. Like it should be even more effective against Homelander than like the average suit. But and like Jake said, I don't understand why kids would want to go here for that. Like other than just be famous and stuff and have I don't know. The school's not that fleshed out to fully explain that stuff, but like there's no other super teams other than well, there were other super teams from my understanding. We knew that A Train came from Teenage Kicks with Pop Claw in season one, and we know that Starlight started with a team with the other kid who was in season three. The problem is all these teams never actually have an appearance, and the only other team we see with that appearance was Payback, and that was like 40 years ago. Any other team seems like they don't get any coverage or care from Vought. So it's like why would it even matter like at all? But they're just not a like I said. The school isn't that fleshed out to truly tell me why these people cared enough to be here. Like they kept hyping up the girl being like the first black woman to seven, but for us who already know that Vought is trash, and the girl to learn that shit learned that Vought is trash at the end of the season anyway. It was like you could use that time to do anything else other than focus on the seven when only like one person will probably be able to join and it wouldn't matter anyway. But I'll pass it back to Jake.
Yeah, it's just confusing because you have like, I don't know how many kids are on that campus, but it's like so many. So it's like, and only like, and realistically, unless if like the boys start killing off like the seven members, only one slot is available at any given time, and that could be anywhere between tomorrow and like 10 years from now. So it's like all the effort just to join this one team doesn't really make much sense to me. Maybe in the comic it's explained better. I don't know. If yeah, I think this was based off a comic if I'm not mistaken. I know the boys is, but I don't know about this.
No, it's not based on a comic.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, yeah, then this is even worse. But um I don't know. Like you would have. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it would. It's all that great of a concept. Um, but yeah, like I said, I, I just kind of I don't know. I don't understand why people like this other than the fact that it's different. And you know, I watch a review or two. Maybe someone could point out something that I didn't see. That's always possible. Um, but it just seems like I think people like it because it's different than the other stuff that we're getting. And if that's the case, I would caution to really maybe reevaluate it because it's like I don't want this to be the direction for like superhero properties from now on. The Boys is fine. I've seen The Boys season 3 and I didn't really like the finale, but I like that show. Like that what I've seen from there is good stuff. I just hope that like the Boys example doesn't devolve into what this season was. That's kind of what I don't want for the genre. Um I just kind of want like if you're gonna be an adult show, you know, tell stories like an adult. I guess that's kind of my thing. But I'll pass it to Austin. So
Okay, so on the comic book side of stuff, there are like a whole lot of super teams active at the same time, unlike in the show. The G Men, which this was supposed to be based on, is just the X Men, but very very gross. And they are the second most money makers to Vought. Like they're their own thing. They don't. They have. It's just like in Marvel comics where there's the X Men, X Force. Like they have their own brand that's separate from Seven that don't really cross over or mean much. And once the only thing in the comics is though Sitwell, who is in this universe is Stan Edgar. Stan Edgar only cares about the Seven full on. So when the G Men became too much of a problem, he got rid of all of them. But like they cut all that out just to have everyone try to be in the Seven though in the show, which I think hurts it. They probably still should have kept the G Men team, especially since if you remember in season 2 or 3 on the TV and stuff, they will talk about the G Men, and in Diabolical, you actually see characters from the G Men. And in season three, there's a girl who was auditioning to be in the Seven named Silver Kincaid. She was a part of the G-Men. In fact, in the comics, when the G-Men plot starts, she kills herself. That's how you even get your introduction to the G-Men. Because Silver Kincaid in the comics was a mixture of Emma Frost and Jean Grey, but the show made her change like everything about her, regardless, like her whole like vibe and everything. But yeah, the I do agree with Jake that I hope they don't take the wrong message from this season being popular and try to go and double down on it. Cause that's what the boys did from season 1 to season 2. They were like, oh, they like the boys, they like the boys doing what they do. They doubled down on Butcher and Huey, but that worked for that show. I don't think that'll work here. I I know Comic Con you brought up earlier, so more campus life when we're talking about our wants. You can't really do that no more because they can't go to school and they presume dead. So we just need more personal moments of these. We need more moments of these people being together and just not being sad or in a fight or just sleeping together. Like how these people actually talk and grow like Jordan did. Jordan did a lot of talking and growing this season. Well, let's get that from Marie. Let's see her get over her fear of blood. And what Jake was talking about, the moment in Invincible season 1 where he's like, I dread seeing him fight his son, all the other stuff. This show thought they did that. Cause they tried to get that feeling when Marie blew up the blonde girl's arm when she was gonna touch Jordan. Like these friends finally fighting at this whole episode and a half of one of them turning evil. And they're doing all they do to stop her, and then it finally happens. She blows up her arm, and they expect you to care, and you don't. And then they even undermine that scene by having Homelander immediately show up and end the conflict anyway. But that's all it is. Like I don't think the show is bad. I think even like the early episodes, I think there's stuff there, like the Jordan stuff, Maria at the party. But it just episode 1. If you watch episode 1, it teases a lot of things that go away at the end of the episode and then never come back. And I think that's the only problem with the show. I would give like a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10 for season 1 because the final 2 episodes are genuinely great based on the setup they did. but they could have spent more time setting it up and fleshing that stuff out, so it meant more. But I'll pass it back to Jake to see if he got anything else.
I will say things I did like. I think that's what I really liked about the second to last episode. Um, I like seeing the. I think the voice kind of does this too, where it's like I like seeing the world through the normal people's perspective. It's so easy to forget when your main characters are in like the actual like plot, like the lore. That like to the outside observer, a lot of these superheroes are like the symbol of hope and like freedom for them. Like it seems like the outside world doesn't like quite understand how like terrible things are. I remember in the Boys season 3, it was like even Starlight having to defend herself. One of her biggest assets was like using social media because the thing that Homelander didn't want is people to see him as like a bad person. Because to everyone, Homelander is like the beacon, and that's why that final moment in the season works so well, because like to everyone, Homelander is a hero. Uh, so it was shocking for her, the main character girl, who controls blood. It was shocking for her when Homelander, knocked her out instead. And I think that's why it works so well. And that's why I kind of liked in the last 2 episodes we saw like from the outside world the political debate around superheroes and stuff like that, or soups, I should say, and seeing how the outside world saw the situation and were reacting to it in real time. That was all great. And like I said before, the Homelander stuff was great as well. I would like to see more of that, really. My biggest fear as well, because of how this season ended, is that now this show kind of just becomes what the boys already is, which is like the boys is like Butcher's team fighting a war that like the common man doesn't know. Like the superheroes are terrible people, or at least that's what it came across as. And it seems like we're just gonna get that again with this show. That could still be written well, but like maybe it would have been better if we kept the illusion more or something. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I'll let Austin chime in and see what he thinks.
No, I kind of agree. That's my biggest worry too. Cause then it's like, what's the point? I don't need to see this war on two different fronts. Since we already, cause we started from the most extreme part, which is Butcher's part of the war, and he's aiming straight at the top. Like, and so you already brought Butcher in here. I don't want this to like devolve into them joining Butcher's side, and then because the girl and Sam should be on the seven if I remember correctly. Wasn't that the deal? Whoever at the end stops this rise and stuff will be in the seven. That Ashley said, I believe. But yeah, Jake said something that hit me. He was like in the second last episode, he enjoyed seeing the common man's like view on this all. And I do agree because even the boys, that stuff is good when we finally see that. Like you see that from Mother of Milk's wife's boyfriend or ex-wife's boyfriend, and he's all in on Homelander. He's really a Trump supporter. It's funny, but seeing the regular person react to this whole situation adds a lot more realism to it. The the pro that also made me not like a scene earlier in the show because, like I said, there's this gross moment with Soldier Boy. Where he's talking about this little girl. Screw you, witch. There's a gross moment he's talking about this little girl in her brain, but it's he's acting like the Soldier Boy that we know, and not the Soldier Boy that's portrayed on TV, which he wouldn't know about. Like, so it's the gross, crude, sexist home sexist Soldier Boy, and not the American hero, American patriot, good guy that everyone thinks he is. At least until he accidentally bombed it. No, I don't think the world. Yeah, they didn't. The world didn't know he did that. They don't even know that was Soldier Boy. They said it was just a random soup terrorist. So yeah, and it's just little stuff like that when you line it up with the other show that doesn't really gel well with me. But yeah, they funny enough, it's weird. They just feel like they should have focused more on the school aspect first, and then probably went crazy. The first half should have been more school focus, and then the last three probably be the woods focus. Because I think going to the woods from like episode two and freeing Sam and all that really broke the pace of the show and kind of messed it up. But there are moments of growth in the show that I did like Emma. She has a eating disorder. If she throws up, she gets small. If she eats, she grows big. You know, all that stuff. But later on, she realized that her powers. Well, she did. I don't know if she realized it, but the scene kind of shows that it's more how she feels. If she feels small, like when Sam was belittling her, and she will shrink down without even realizing it. So she's moved beyond her main power. Even Marie kind of did that once she talked to Victoria Newman, and she explained that we actually got the same power, and you can do much more. You got to just realize it, and she starts to be able to she feel the blood in other people and other stuff. But that's not really character growth. That's more power growth. But her getting more used to blood is a little growth moment for her, even though isn't that shown in the show. Since Homeland shows up right after that scene. Jordan is the one who had the most growth. Jordan's power they can turn from boy to girl. The only person that was on Jordan's side was the teacher. The teacher gets killed by Golden Boy, and then they call him a bi-gendered person. He kind of latches on to Maria. It feels like, and then she accepts him, and then he has his breakthrough moment like episode 4, where he fully explains how he feels in the arc and all the other stuff, and then comes back later and shows growth too. But that's the only one that ever really grows. The girl whose name I can't remember right now that showed you how bad she was. Uh, her power, she's basically supposed to be the Jean Grey Emma Frost, but she does it by touch, and she realizes she's being used by the person she cares about. But she finds the person she cares about loves her because that lady doesn't know about the disease killing bomb yet, but she still kills her anyway. So she's already far off the deep end. And then later she finds out about the superhero killing bomb. And then you have I can't remember his name, but it's the Polarity son, the the African American kid whose power is basically Magneto. You have him being hopeful and stuff in the beginning. He's Golden Boy's best friend. Golden Boy kills himself. He's freaking out about it. Now he's trying to. He finds out about what he go talk to his dad about it. His dad tells him sometimes it's better to stay quiet and just let stuff rock for the betterment of your family. And his dad doesn't regret doing what he did. And then you find out he was cheating on Golden Boy, his best friends with his girlfriend the whole time anyway. So it didn't. So some of the stuff he was saying early in the show didn't matter. It comes to evaluate it, and it happens a lot in the show where people will say something, do something, and then that later on is devaluated by something they did or said later. So you don't really know what his character is or what he stands for or where he stands. Even now, like his father, the last thing his father told him was that regardless of how you feel about this whole situation, you need to do what you need to do right by your family. I'm sure later that's gonna mean, oh, but my friends are my family type thing, in like season 2 or season 3. But right now, he took that message and didn't really know what to do. He kind of just shows up in the final fight and then Homelander knocks them all out. But I'll let it pass back to Jake.
I will say another thing I liked in the show, and this really adding on to the point before about outside perspectives. I think of the final episode, seeing the PR lady, and I don't remember her name, the PR lady that's like secretly bald,
Ashley.
Ashley. Yeah, seeing her in this show was like kind of fun because in season 3 of The Boys, she got thrown through the ringer emotionally. So to see her like in another setting, like in a normal setting where she has to be a functioning adult, and while no one knows like what she went through, and but you know what she goes through, you're just kind of like, oh, it's kind of fun to watch. Just know that bit. Like when she goes to like her actual office, it's like all hell breaks loose. I thought that was pretty entertaining, just to know. So there is value in watching The Boys and watching this as well. Um, but I don't know. I guess for this show, that's really. I think that's all I think that's all I got as far as I'm aware. As far as what I want from season two, just better writing, which to be fair, it seems like the writers are capable of. I just um, I maybe I really don't know. Like I said, I just don't want it to be the boys 2.0, like the boys light, kind of where it seems like by the end of this they're gonna want to fight back against Homelander. I guess get revenge or something. I don't know, and that would just be the boys if that's the case. Um, or maybe maybe the route you can do is they run into Butcher. They find out he wants to poison all superheroes, and no, and they're like, no, we won't let you. And maybe Butcher is their final boss, but that wouldn't really be much of a fight since our main character mess with his blood. But uh, it'd be something you could do to separate them. I don't know. Austin, what do you think?
I don't think they'll do that season two. I feel like that would be like the final play of the show. To be honest, like they're trying to do all this stuff to beat Homelander, which Jake can tell you he already has a problem with because they could have beat Homelander. But I feel like that'll be they're putting it in the comics. This bomb were Butcher's final play to get rid of all the superheroes after he beat Homelander. I think they're still setting up for that, but they're probably like, oh, we can have if they can't beat Homelander, I got this bomb in my back pocket type thing. For season two, I just need more character moments. Like Marie's a character, yeah, but she went like other than her just going through stuff. Every character goes through something, you know. Just having a character suffer won't make me care about them anymore. If that makes sense, I need to see them sad, happy. I need to see them do like I need to see a lot of a character to make me enjoy a character, especially in modern day when everyone character kind of has a bad, sad backstory when it comes to these shows now because your main character got to be special. And so yeah, so give more character moments. Actually, have the girl and Sam actually be in the seven in the next boys series. Since you want to, because at first this was a spinoff, but now it's becoming more of a companion piece, where I kind of feel like you have to watch it. So I hope they actually do pull the trigger on that if that's the case, and have these characters be in the seven before going back to what Maria and stuff are doing this in season two. But like, there's not a lot to talk about here. They did some things good. They did some things wrong. Uh, I just feel like they focused on the wrong things that are when they had the right time to do stuff, they focused on the wrong things, and that's kind of just what I feel like the theme of the show is until the final episode. But yeah, just don't become the boys season two. I want to see kind of, ironically kind of become the X Men, like for real. Like get these people a mentor teacher or something. Let's go get them. Let's go make a full squad. They go hunt down the rest of the kids. Well, no, the rest of the kids in the woods died, so they literally have nothing here to do. The other break free, like we can't. They're not going to beat Homelander. They're probably not going to be. They can't do anything lasting that can't be reversed or talked about in the boys because the boys is still the main show. So I actually wonder how they're going to handle a lot of stuff. Okay, so it's probably just going to be her versus the Marina versus the blonde girl and Sam, and Emma find out how to correctly use her powers. I think Polaris is probably going to go through the Polarity is probably going to go through the most the next season. He's the one who has to decide about what kind of hero and what kind of man he wants to be. I feel like he's going to make a break next season for me based on what they set up for him, to be honest. But I'll give next season like the 3 episode try. I don't want to have to watch like 8 episodes again of like a 30 to 40 minute show only to really like the last 2 episodes full on. But if they can't really even do the school aspect that they're interested in for season one now because the kids can't go back to school. So it's like there's not a lot of direction left for them to go other than just fight up and try to become a different version of the boys. So I hope the writers can make a difference in that. And that's about it. That's all I got to say.
Um, I I think also, I guess here's like a growing problem I have with the boys. I don't. I know Homelander is really just strong because like he's the strongest. He's like literally it. Like he's strong in comparison to like any universe you would probably enjoy, but he's the strongest here, and because there's no one really stronger than him, he just kind of gets to do what he want, like do whatever he wants. I feel like as far as I can understand this girl's powers, if she ever came into contact with Homelander and it was like a life or death situation, and there was like more than two people in that room, she could probably kill him, right? I have that problem where it's like, and then I think as Austin pointed out too, which I also forgot about, they have the supersonic stuff, which can also incapacitate Homelander based on the fact that he has super hearing. Now we have the virus as well, and Soldier Boy's still around. Uh, I don't know. It kind of, to me, it's like I feel like Homelander, maybe just me. Homelander is like less of a threat than he should be when it feels like the tools to kill him are just kind of lying about, and it's really just because of like Butcher is just out of reach of finding these things. Um, so now I really kind of hope that like season four, hopefully we start like coming up with concrete ways to like fight Homelander, even if it's not like we can kill him. Maybe it's like something that allows us to just fight him consistently. I don't know, something. Um, I just feel like the threat of Homelander really comes down to just stuff being just out of reach of Butcher, which kind of seems a bit weird since, at least from my understanding of Butcher, his government contacts should allow him to know some of this stuff exists. But maybe I'm just like, I don't really understand the boys' universe. I'll let you know. But maybe Austin can answer that question if you want to go.
I can't answer it because he technically should. He's with the FBI. He has Mallory, and Mallory just found out. So maybe she told him off screen, and that's why he showed up at the end of the season. But other than that, I do agree with you about the Homelander thing. But people don't know in the comics why this play would make sense is that Homelander isn't just stronger than everyone else. He's stronger by far than everyone else. Like when he decided to take over the planet at the end of the boys comic, Queen Maeve tried to fight him, and he knocked her head off and sent her head flying miles with one punch. Compared to the show, when anytime a superhero of any like of Superman try to fight Homelander, they all get a whole lot of good hits in where you like maybe in the right setting they could win. Like Homelander feels way closer to Butcher here than the comics where he was clearly like the guy. It was like if you watch JJK, he was basically Gojo to everyone else in the comic. But here he's more like Yuta, where Yuta is supposed to be like super strong. He can win these fights, but everyone still can reach him. He's not that like untainable thing that you need five ways to try to beat. Soldier Boy could have beat him. Butcher with powers almost could have beat him. Really, even like the main character who had in the boys who had powers. Remember he had the power to like reach through walls and all that stuff. He could have just ripped the Homeland apart and been done. Now you got the bomb, like Jake said. The bomb. This girl, Victoria Newman, who had the same power, who could have killed him if you just have someone hold him down so he can't rush her. But also the threat when he met Victoria Newman, it was just he's too fast. Someone just had to hold him down for like legit a few seconds. He'll pop his head, and that'll be it. And then you have I'm sure they're gonna show you some more ways that some superheroes can beat him. But it's like the threat of Homelander doesn't feel real now because we've seen him brought down to a human level. Now I think the boys are more going to switch over to how do we get him away from Ryan, or how do we beat Homelander without Ryan turning evil and hating us or trying to kill us and stuff. But I guess I'll let Jake go one more time, and then we can kind of end it here. We're already like 15 minutes in.
Yeah, it was just when I was watching season 3, it was just kind of like a big problem for me too. Like I just don't really buy Homelander be. I buy him as a threat, but not even this big of a threat. That's kind of my issue. Like I said, now we have a character who can just like, if she wanted to, she probably she could probably just like give him vertigo or something with his blood. I mean, if her and Butcher teamed up and they just pulled up a similar strategy like they did in season 3 with Soldier Boy, uh, they could probably have just killed him right then and there. Um, so I mean, I'm not really, I don't know. The Homelander thing is just kind of a bit weird. But at the end of the day, as far as Gen V is concerned, I mean, I'd give it a chance because that last episode was like had a really strong ending. I would kind of like to see at least the fallout of it. Um, but like, I think I'm with Austin too. Where like if it doesn't really grab me, I'll kind of lose focus unless we're asked to review it again. Um, yeah, no. All in all, it was an okay show. I can't really give it an honest reviewing because to be fair, I don't think I paid enough attention to it to really like substantiate me giving a review. I just don't think that's fair to the show or the writers really. But based off what if someone were to ask me, I wouldn't really recommend it casually. Uh, so that's kind of where I'm at. Um, but yeah, it's been 51 minutes. We somehow stretched this up to 51 minutes, so I guess we can wrap it up here. Any other shows, feel free to recommend them, and we can try to review them. We'll see. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell, so you never miss out. And I guess if Austin remembers them all, he can plug in some of our socials.
Uh, Common Fanatic 2.0 is our Instagram. Follow us there. We sometimes post stuff. If we can. I couldn't today. I think someone else did. That was a whole other issue. Twitter, Common Fanatic 69. We post stuff there a lot too. Sometimes you might even catch art on there, thumbnail art, depending on how our artist feels. And you're already on the YouTube channel, so I don't have to plug that one, I guess. But I think that's everything. I'll let Jake come back here and end the show, I guess.
All right. Yeah, that's it. Comic Con, thank you for being a fan as always. Hopefully, you see the end of this episode. Tell us your thoughts on the review in the comments. Also, if you're a newcomer, tell us your thoughts on Gen V. Were we wrong and full of shit? Tell us. Help us out in that algorithm. Anyway, bye.